6 minutes after 9 o'clock, a little bit overcast, and rain has been happening yesterday and maybe a little today. Carol Ann Baldwin is here to tell you what you can do about your garden, your lawn, and how that rain might make changes in your plans, or maybe not. We'll find out right now. How you doing, Carol Ann?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm okay.
Good.
You got a little cold?
No, I think it's a little allergy. I keep getting, every so often I get this little weird thing. It got me the other day, and I was like, I couldn't even talk.
No, I got it.
It's like, sorry, I didn't mean to throw that across the room there.
Funny.
But no,
So my apple tree was happy yesterday. All that rain was happening.
Oh, yeah, everything. Because it was getting dry. I mean, when you have to get out there and water and the rest of it, and tap water, it doesn't do the same. We say this every spring, that when we're coming out of winter, it's like, okay, we're watering like crazy, but the grass still looks, puny, whatever. Rain is what perks it up.
I wonder why.
There's nitrogen in rain.
It's better,
yeah, there is. It is actually, it is more fortified, yeah. We always, you try to, if you have a water softener system collecting rain, or even if you don't for your house plants or other potted plants, a great idea. Even for landscape plants, and, in a pinch, it's, is still going to continue to hold some of that beneficial portion of being rainwater. But yeah, it's been so dry that, everything was starting to get a little crunchy, and we never want to go into our winter months, into the dry season dry. And we had almost like no rain for September.
I had very little.
Very little rain in September. In September, I know we usually slack off, but not just like, here you go. No, the well is dry. We're done, and so getting this little bit of rain now is definitely beneficial.
Just for the listeners' sake, this is a call-in show. Your phone calls are a very important part of the show. We invite you to call in. Your call does not have to be limited to anything, really, but we try to ask you to keep it limited to the. Well, I was contradicting myself, wasn't I, right there? I guess what I'm trying to say, it doesn't have to be a question. Thank you, Robin.
Right.
It'll be a statement. The number is 622-9622. Yeah. See, I'm the one that sometimes goes off track.
Yeah, well, you. So watch out, we get on tangents. But no, it's great gardening day. I mean, it's been a little warm. Coming into October, I know we're supposed to not, and part of the reason we're not going to be as hot today is it's overcast. And rainy. I think that's part of more than necessarily a front. Because I think today and tomorrow are both supposed to rain. Supposed to be a high of 86 today, 85 tomorrow. So not bad. I mean, the humidity's up there, so it's a little sticky, but enjoy it while we can. I mean, we never know what winter will bring to us, whether or not we'll get an early cold snap or not. When I flipped and was opening a couple pages here, like the front part of the Weather Channel page had, something about a snowstorm, obviously not here, and it's going, okay, it's mid-October. There's been snow way up there. Montana had a bunch of snow, but they're talking about snow now, and I understand those areas do get snow or have frost and things like that, because actually our first expected frost date is just over a month away. Of the possibility for us here in Central Florida to have a frost can be as early as, or on average is approximately the 15th of November. We have had them earlier. We have had them as early as Halloween, and sometimes much later than that.
And you do have a phone call?
Fantastic.
Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Yes, good morning, guys.
Morning, Hugh.
What a welcome rain. As you said, we had very little rain for the last 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And I had in my backyard, and both my gauges just under 3 inches. So it was, let's just say it was a drought saver.
It was definitely a beneficial rain. It wasn't one of those ones that just sort of sprinkled past and waved high. It actually hung out for a while and gave a good extended rain. Little heavy at times, but still a good rain.
I have an irrigation system, so my lawn was fairly healthy and green, but there were several properties around me that they don't have irrigation, and it's surprising. I took the dog for a walk this morning, and just overnight everybody's lawn is green.
Yes, yes, and they, with a Bahia lawn, and more than likely they probably do a Bahia, you don't need to have an irrigation system with a Bahia lawn, and because what it'll do is, I mean, it's a tough grass. It may start to go brown and go dormant with a lack of rain, but like you just saw, you get a couple of inches of rain, wait a few hours, and that turf is starting to green up again, and so that's just, that's a great way for that, and that, the grass has slowed down on growing because we weren't getting rain. You might get a little pickup of some growing here over the next few weeks because of this rain, and let's hope we get a little bit more rain out of the next couple weeks. Look at next week. It looks like we could get some showers again sometime middle of next week as well. So, even if we're just getting, an inch or so at a time, it's great.
We're totally dependent upon frontal rain now, the cold fronts from the north, so we usually get our share of those. And some winters can be pretty moist,
Yeah.
And I think last year we had plenty of rain throughout the winter time. If you can refresh my memory a little bit, now with us getting close to the middle of October, what about weed control and fertilization on the lawn? Are we done, or once more, or what's the deal on that?
If you haven't done anything since, like springtime, go ahead and get that last one done. I mean, if you had to use something for weed control, go ahead and you need to if you feel like you need to continue with that, go ahead and do your weed control, as well as say basically one last fertilization for the year. We try not to fertilize after, this is mid-October. By the end of October at the latest is, pretty much we're done until springtime, till it starts to come up out of its dormancy on its own. Then we start over again.
Yeah, and trimming back the bushes too. End of October is the last time for that, right?
That's I like to have that done only for the sake that we never know when that cold snap's going to come. We've been very warm. Things have been growing. Hopefully all of that's done or pretty close to it. Don't do any drastic cutbacks, but a little bit of shaping and things like that aren't going to hurt anything right now. Wait for any of those big cuts till everything's really fully dormant after we've had some good cold weather, and that's normally about February, or where we're coming out of winter is when our coldest part of winter is, and then into March, so that it's not going to try to sprout out and grow and then get damaged again by cold.
Yeah, I guess we got a chance for a little more rain today before it clears through. So, but I'm very thankful for the rain we got. Although I'm appreciative of the fact that I bought this only an irrigation system, and I use it quite frequently when it's needed. But I just like everything to look green everywhere I go, not just my own backyard.
Sure. Oh yeah, we always the rain that gives you a chance that you don't have to run your irrigation for at least the rest of the week, if not maybe into even next week, and I know that now that that when the clocks went back, or did the clocks go back yet? No, they don't change back till November. That's right. That first Saturday in November, I think it is, that Saturday night. When those clocks change back, then we're down to one time a week for watering. And normally our temperatures and things like that are down enough come November that it really doesn't need much more than needs that once a week, a thorough watering. So, enjoy this with the rain we're getting right now, that we're not having to run the irrigation, and but it's also a time to start to wean that lawn back down off of that so that it will go through the winter without a lot of water or lack of water stress.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I'm going to get out and get my little weed and feed on my lawn for the last time here, sometime during this week, and then that'll be it till spring.
Yeah. That's right, and make sure when you do your weed and feed, don't count on this rain to be the thing to water it in. Read your directions. You need that weed killer to sit on those weeds usually for a day before you water it in. So, don't, and not just you, but anybody else listening, read those directions on those bags and make sure that it's, that you're not going to throw your money away, because that stuff's expensive. Why put something down and not follow directions and have it not be effective?
Yeah, well, I've got an acre here, so like you say, it's not cheap to do it.
No.
And I'll pay attention to the weather and wait for a couple of days of dry weather coming, which we'll probably get.
Oh, yeah.
So then I can get that.
Yeah, I think
that
Thursday.
done.
Yeah, today and tomorrow. I think we're talking for rain. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Thursday, Friday at least. Very little chance of rain, so it's a good time to do.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Have a good day.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you, Hugh.
And anybody else who's looking to put fertilizer down, now that we've had some rain, your lawn and your landscape is not water stressed right now, so it is a good time to go ahead and take care of things like that, and then, reading the directions and putting that fertilizer down, try to get it done here in the next week or so, and then you're done. Then you can think about the holidays. I know it's October and everybody's, hush on the holidays. Well, Halloween's right around the corner. Right after we put away the pumpkin, put away the Halloween directions, and we're getting out the cornucopias and the little turkey, and pilgrims out there, and after that, it's one right after the other, and then we have a new year, and springtime's right around the corner.
Wow, we're just zooming ahead.
It is. It's like boom, boom, boom. It's where does time go? But
yeah. Where does it go?
Yeah.
The phone lines are open, and you are invited to call. The number is 622-9622. If you have a question about your lawn, your garden, maybe you're new to the area, and the rules here don't necessarily aren't the same as they were up in Ohio or wherever you might be from.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. And just as let me see, because why we get so many pumpkins in a home improvement store, I have no idea.
Because they sell.
Not in a home improvement store.
They don't sell?
No, I mean it's.
What happens? You throw them
people
away?
People go to Walmart, or I hate to say the brand, or they go to they'll go to Aldi's, they'll go to the pumpkin patches, supporting local churches and schools and scout groups that are doing
So who orders
pumpkins
them?
and stuff.
They don't sell?
It comes from corporate. It's.
And what happens? You end up throwing them away?
A lot of them, they'll rot. They'll sit there and go,
Oh, no.
but so it's, but if you're doing your jack-o'-lantern, I was trying to find the, how to keep that, because pumpkins here, because of our warm weather, you get the pumpkin, don't carve it. Not right away, unless you don't mind it rotting quickly. Because once it's carved, it begins to deteriorate. So usually, let's see, Halloween this year happens to fall during the week on a Thursday. I would probably carve it no earlier than about that weekend right before, the Sunday maybe even. Let me see, I had a pop-up.
Is there something you can spray on it?
Well, that's what I was looking for. We've got a couple things I'm looking. One of them had said making a bleach mixture. Once your pumpkin is carved, and putting it in a bucket with the bleach and water and letting it sit like 8 hours or overnight, and that bleach is going to kill any of the bacteriums that are looking to break down that pumpkin. But here's another one, 5 ways to keep your jack-o'-lantern fresh. Fill a spray bottle with a solution of a tablespoon of bleach to a quart of water. Spray the interior and cut surfaces liberally, allowing it to penetrate and dry. Formula is said to kill off surface bacteria and mold that can lead to rot. Another is to lightly spray the cut interior with a solution of 1 tablespoon of peppermint Castile soap, which you can still find, but probably in like the health food stores.
Wow, I never heard of that.
Stuff like that, into a quart of water. Peppermint is a natural antifungal and will slow the decaying process. Use either spray method, number 1 or 2, not both. Another one, number 3, says apply petroleum jelly or olive oil to the cut surfaces to prevent dehydration over time. Spraying the cut surface with hairspray can also slow down the decaying process. Products designed for anti-humidity work really well. So the ones that stop the frizz.
Okay.
Yeah, the ones that stop the frizz. So instead of cutting the stem out of the top of the pumpkin to be carved, cut the hole on the bottom of the pumpkin and remove that piece. Then simply place the clean carved pumpkin on top of a candle. This method not only makes it easier for candle lighting, but allows moisture to escape rather than pool at the bottom of the pumpkin, which accelerates the rotting process.
But
and actually, I think possibly cutting from the bottom of the pumpkin
Right.
instead of taking the top off, taking the bottom off,
Right.
I think might make it easier to get the seeds out.
really,
I believe, or to get the pumpkin guts.
but
you know.
once you light the candle, if
Right.
if the top is still on, won't the heat kind of?
Well, no, because you always put your lid on. You always put your lid back on because it's shining out of its eyes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so that doesn't matter.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
the
But it's
heat-
a little, yeah, I mean, because that way you pick it up and blow it out, or, light it. Or if you're using the LED, lights, it's,
Yeah.
those are safer way to go, and they're fairly inexpensive, even if you
hairspray,
end up,
huh?
the hairspray thing, I probably wouldn't be, well, I'd be being really careful. Don't light the candle right away after the hairspray. You might go, have a nice little
Hey,
explosion.
by the
there, but-
way, unrelated to that, but something you mentioned earlier, the day you turn the clocks back is Sunday, November 3rd.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Okay, yep. Well, it's, yeah,
2
it's, the Saturday, it's usually when you go to bed Saturday night.
Yeah, right.
If anybody's getting up at 2 a.m. to change their clocks, you got, come up with something better to do. But no, there's a couple little hints. If anybody has ever tried any of them, let us know. I mean, I'll see if I can, let me try to see
Now,
if
we
I can
tried
get that
something
over.
on your show, didn't we? Where an apple, instead of it turning brown, we put lemon juice on it or something?
Yeah, with apples and things like that, lemon juice, orange juice, pineapple
would that
juice, something
work?
with the citric acid. You know what? I wonder, that might do something like that, but except with the apple, it's the oxidation. Oxygen hitting the sugars in that apple or potato. If you ever peel a potato and let it sit on the counter for a few minutes, about 20, 30 minutes, you'll see it starts to turn that pinky brown color, and that's just from the air and the sugars in that potato. So I don't know if it's the same kind of thing, because that's not a rot starting, it's just a discoloration.
Okay, so
And
two different things.
a little bit different, but I'm wondering if maybe the citric acid might be something
Might,
that would that would do that. If you had maybe the goof off, like takes adhesives off of your furniture and things like that. The kids put stickers all over your car, or all
Right.
over the refrigerator. It's an oil that's a citrus base. And yes, I know I had to make sound effects.
WD-40 does that too.
Yes, WD-40 will do that too, but I think the citrus one might be, something a little more
That makes more sense.
pleasant. Yeah, might even be. I think I even have some of that at the house. I might try that with a pumpkin. Because yes, I will carve a pumpkin.
We should do some experiments.
Yeah, we could, or if any listeners who's going to carve pumpkins with the children, here it is. This is actually, it's off the Farmer's Almanac page, because I had just Googled how to keep your jack-o'-lantern fresh, and this one's from Farmer's Almanac. So 5 ways to keep your jack-o'-lantern fresher longer. And with us here in Central Florida, we need that, because they will rot. They will begin to rot, and you will be trying to get, dead pumpkin carcass off the steps, and it's just
man.
kind of gooey and nasty.
Yeah.
So, and you might even set it just to be as something, make it a little easier.
What is
Should it melt? Would be use a plant saucer underneath it, or a throwaway. A recyclable aluminum pie pan or something like that, to where you can take and dump what's left of the pumpkin in the compost bin, hose off your thing, and throw it in the recycle bin.
So why doesn't the pumpkin attract wildlife? Isn't it something edible? Wouldn't they?
They will sometimes eat on them. Yes.
Really?
Yeah. If you leave them out within reach, if you have raccoons or even squirrels and things like
That'd be
that,
kinda cool.
unfortunately, that they may munch on them. So it's one of those things that, be careful with them.
They had an underwater carving contest.
I
Did
saw
you
that
see
on the news. That was kind of fun. It had been kind of hard to hold your pumpkin down. And
That's what I was
do,
thinking. Yeah, it was floating away.
And there's all kinds of neat pumpkin designs that you can download off the web to do some really neat, interesting ones. I've even seen, people paint them instead of carving them, and that way it keeps it fresh. And realize, if you're thinking about doing
We should put the pumpkin in the picture here.
like a pumpkin pie or something like that, your carving jack-o'-lanterns are not
pull it
really the ones that you're after to do.
We got one right there.
We
You can't see it on the camera.
No. Oh, he doesn't have a face? Why haven't you drawn a face on him?
Because it's bowed while saying grace.
Oh,
You didn't know?
no.
Yeah, the pumpkin face is, when there's no face, it's because it's bowed while saying grace. So it's,
Okay, I didn't know that. Is it on the picture now?
Yeah, it's on the
hiding the laptop here. But, you just got me off on a thing. But, all kinds of different ways. A lot of times, I mean, you can buy the little toolkits. They're reusable. I think we talked about them last week, that Signature Brands
yes.
manufactures these things, and they have templates in there too that you can use. A lot of folks get real fancy with the Dremel tools and can do some stuff, and not even a full carve where it's almost like removing the outer part just a little bit off the pumpkin, and it's like pretty neat.
Yeah, there's a lot of clever food carvers.
And if you've got smaller children that really want to get into it, do the painting on it or markers. I mean, it'll, for them that their little hands, can't cut through the pumpkin, or let them do the design, and you try to cut on their lines. It gets a little harder. I did that one year. It was kind of a funny looking pumpkin.
Oh, I love this time of year. It's a fun time of year.
It is, and I mean, it is our whole holiday seasons. I know people get frustrated when they see all the Halloween, and then there's the Christmas stuff on top of it, but you'd be surprised how many people are buying their Christmas holiday decorations now.
Oh, really?
It's trees.
Oh, really?
Trees going out, lights going out. Had one lady come in, and it took 2 baskets at least, I think, because we got lucky and did have more of these great big giant bows that you might put if you had a big door or double door or something. She bought all of them that were on the shelf, plus some other ones. And I said, my goodness, you must have quite a few houses, thinking she was in real estate.
Right.
Or maybe had a strip mall or something like that. Or, just real estate. You got 4 or 5 houses that you're showing here to decorate. No, that was all for one house, for her house. And, over on, I think she said, Homosassa. And that it was a very large house. I was like, wow, that's, suddenly this year you need to spend $900 or better on Christmas stuff in early October.
The visualization that we all have of autumn, even if you've lived in Florida forever, is the brown leaves on the ground.
Right.
Do you know, at where Doug lives, here in Ocala, when I walk up to his yard, he's got them on the ground. So some trees
there are some. Yeah, we have some native trees, even as well as some others that are not from this area, but are Florida-friendly trees that do change colors. Actually, even your crepe myrtles change colors. The native persimmon change colors. The sweet gum trees, there's a lot of trees that'll change colors. Take a ride down out 40, going east, and you'll see some of them. The golden rain trees are blooming right now. There's ones that rain trees. They are a beautiful tree. They're just they're invasive, and
you don't like them?
I don't like them because they rain trees, and then everybody complains because the Jadera bugs come out to eat the seeds from those trees, and they're all over the place. And they're all over the people's garages and the side of the house, and they're wondering what do I do with these? And we up on the news?
We do have the break coming right up. I wasn't paying attention.
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back with Carol Ann. More Carol Ann Baldwin after this on WOCA.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. A lawyer for the European Union Ambassador Gordon Sondland says the State Department has told him to now not testify today with staff for 3 House committees.
Sondland is one of the diplomats who exchanged text messages discussing Ukrainian aid that was held up and later released. This as House Democrats are considering questioning the original whistleblower at a remote location, concealing the individual's voice and appearance. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham has called for whistleblowers in the Ukraine controversy to testify publicly.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland. Chinese state-run TVs canceled the broadcast of 2 NBA exhibition games being played in China this week over the Houston Rockets general manager expressing support for protesters in Hong Kong. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver says, speaking in Tokyo,
"It's my hope that for our Chinese fans and our partners in China, they will see those remarks in the context of now a 3-decade, if not longer, relationship."
America's listening to Fox News.
Lowe's has the supplies pros use most every day. And when the job demands more, we're stocked with the quantities needed for any size job. It's savings you can count on. Because when you buy in bulk, you'll get 10% off all drywall and drywall accessories. Purchase 64 or more sheets of OSB and you'll also save 10%. Order ahead at lowesforpros.com and we'll have your order ready for pickup. Our pro loaders will be ready to load you up so you can get back to the job site. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. U.S. only.
It's happening. Wherever cupcakes are being frosted, songs are being recorded, and engines are being tuned, ADP is designing a better way to work. With industry-leading HR, talent, time, benefits, and payroll, more companies rely on ADP than any other HR partner. From small business to global enterprise. See how ADP can help you and your people achieve what you're working for at design.adp.com. ADP, always designing for people.
Medical providers are special, and to look special, they go to Scrub Paradise in Ocala. Located off Easy Street next to Shoe Carnival, Scrub Paradise has a wide selection of top brand scrubs, medical shoes, and accessories. Embroidery is also available. Don't settle for the same boring scrubs. Visit Scrub Paradise today or call 352-873-4368. Your favorite brands are on sale. 352-873-4368. That number again is 352-873-4368.
Here is your one-minute news brief. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis will ask the legislature to increase the minimum starting salary for public school teachers to $47,500 a year. A second House bill has been filed to allow college student athletes in Florida to be able to cash in on their names and images. A Marion County man charged with murdering his wife is now charged with murdering 4 children. 2 of the children were his own, and the other 2 were his stepchildren. There is still no word on what caused the malfunction that left riders stranded for hours Saturday night on Walt Disney World's new Skyliner gondola transportation system. The Tampa Bay Rays are still alive after a 10-3 rout of the Astros in Game 3 of their American League Division Series at Tropicana Field. A federal judge is considering whether Florida lawmakers exceeded their authority by requiring former felons to pay fines as a condition of regaining their right to vote. And 20 new moons have been found around Saturn, giving the ringed planet a total of 82 moons. And that is your news brief from the source. Luby Bat Conservancy welcomes you to their 15th annual Florida Bat Festival on Saturday, October 26th. This year, Luby is celebrating its 30th anniversary. Come celebrate with them as they continue to spread bat awareness from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. Your batty fun includes games, live music, food, and of course, the largest bats in the world right here in our backyard. The date, again, is October 26th and is great fun for the entire family. www.luby.org. All right, the phone lines are open if you want to call Carol Ann. The number is 352-622-9622. And I do have the Facebook thing up if you want to text messages. I know some of you prefer to do that. I guess you would text it through the WOCA site. You probably could text it through Carol Ann's site, and then she will see it, right? That's how that works?
Well, I mean, if they go through in the garden page.
So either way, if you want to if you
Facebook,
prefer to text, we'll see it and read it, and you can answer it. Otherwise, you can just call 352-622-9622, and it can be about your lawn, your garden, your pumpkins.
Holiday plans. I think last week, we might have touched a little bit on some of those. And again, it sounds funny. Here we are in October. Oh, hush up about Christmas. Let the pumpkin have his day. Let the turkey have his day.
Let the pumpkin have his day.
But your poinsettias and stuff. And if anybody saw I think it was on the Master Gardener page. I didn't share it over yet to my page, only because they should have shared that about a month ago. On pruning your poinsettias. Don't prune them now. It's past the middle of September. You just want them where they're not going to be getting the artificial light at night. And right now it's just, water them when they're dry. Really don't need to fertilize them right now. Again, it's October. You should have fertilized them probably about a month or so ago. If you did any of the pinching back to try to keep them nice and full. and just, have them, if they're in the ground, just take care of them as you would. In pots, take care of them as you would. No artificial light when it's dark outside. So they should color up. Probably you'll start to see some color even next month on that. And your Christmas cactus, again, just no artificial light at night, and done fertilizing for now, because you don't want to push a whole lot of water, because a lot of times what happens when we fertilize, when something's getting ready to set buds or set their flower buds, is that we push those flowers right on off, because we encourage it to what? Grow. So instead of making a flower bud, it makes a new leaflet, that kind of thing. So leave the fertilizer on the shelf for those. Just don't overwater the Christmas cactus. Hence, it's a cactus. So minimal water and no artificial light. At night.
My cactus too. I hardly water.
I got a little teeny succulent in one, and it's so hard to water, which makes it easy because it's hard to then you can't overwater it.
Text message.
Oh, okay.
Carolina, what advice do you have for growing baby bok choy in Florida? What the heck is that?
Bok choy is bok choy, but the baby bok choy would be immature. Bok choy is used in a lot of Oriental cooking, stir fry.
What is it?
It's within the cabbage type family.
Oh, okay.
It's an Oriental cabbage. When it's cooler is when it's going to do its best. Because of in that cabbage family, we usually prefer a little cooler. I would start my seed inside, in a tray, to where you can move out and space your plants nice and evenly, and your baby bok choy is just going to be harvested before it reaches a full mature size.
How big does it get?
They're decent. They're decent size.
Really?
They're tall and narrow. They grow a little more like a
I can't even picture it. Let me look it up.
Bok choy. B-O-K. C-H... B-O-K... C-O-Y... C-H-O-Y, yeah.
C-H-O-Y. It was spelled wrong on the thing. Okay, I still don't know what it is.
You're not seeing a picture of it?
I do see a picture, but it looks like...
It looks...
I don't know what it looks like. It looks like lettuce,
you think
almost.
It looks like fennel,
deformed lettuce,
or it looks like a cabbage kind of thing, or it's an Oriental cabbage.
Or this one looks like... what's that kind of lettuce? That other lettuce.
Oh Lord, look at us. But no, I mean it does look like that, but it's a cabbage. It's a cool weather crop. So starting them inside, giving them space when you put them out in the garden. Watch for snails.
Oh really?
Yeah. They have little places to get hidden in. On that, snails, I'm not sure of too many. You might get some caterpillar issues, the cabbage loper on those just as well. So, good scouting, maybe some diatomaceous earth for your pest control on the caterpillars and that, and your snail baits most of them nowadays are organic, or they're an iron phosphate base, so they're not going to be toxic in the garden.
And you have a phone call. Good morning, you're on there with Carol Ann.
Yes, good morning. Yes, bok choy is indeed referred to as Chinese cabbage. When you get your chow mein or your egg roll, it's got bok choy mixed in with it.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I eat it all the time then. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Your greenhead cabbage is more of your cabbage soup and all that kind of stuff, where your bok choy is in your Chinese food.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Have a good morning, everybody.
All right,
Thank you,
too.
Jim. I should have asked him if that was him who texted us.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like to me, what's that other kind of lettuce? We were thinking it looked like... What is that lettuce, that long lettuce? It's good.
You get your loose leaf fetid... I like the little bibs are short and wide.
That's funny. Both drawing a blank.
It's like, okay, you threw me a loop of lettuce. I'm thinking of bok choy. Yeah, it almost even looks, with the white part of it, looks a little bit like celery.
Right,
kind of thing.
It sure does.
And probably to keep it white, you might even try to make sure, you might I don't think you
So why
have to
was
blanch them.
is this an autumn?
It is a cool weather
Okay,
for us.
okay.
Cool, just like your broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts. All of those are your cool season plants. Most of your greens and your lettuces, radishes.
Romaine, Robin writes.
Romaine, yeah, that's it.
That's-
Lord, there's too many of them out there. Too many lettuces.
Now I know bok choy. I got a new
You got a
word.
new-
Hope I
new
don't
one to
forget
try.
it.
Yeah, and that's great in stir fry. Just chop it, wash it off real good, chop it all up, throw it in the skillet with some like slivered carrots and things like that, and you can even just do it
It's
as a vegetable.
from where? China?
It's an Asian.
So does that mean it's invasive if you have it here?
No, it's just would be exotic. Invasive means it will get away
Oh, okay,
and
okay.
interfere with natural habitat. That's what
Okay.
invasive. It's exotic, but not
It's
invasive.
not natural, but it's also not invasive.
Right.
Exotic.
Exotic.
Wow, you
That
could do a
is,
whole
yeah.
book on that.
Yeah, on exotic.
Right? Do we have a lot of exotics that,
Oh, there's all kinds of exotics, and I mean,
that are
especially
edible? Edible exotics?
most everything that we eat is not from the United States, not
Wow.
originally.
Really? What were they eating before we got here?
I mean, more of the natural,
Just
just
corn?
wheat and stuff. I mean, not just corn, but the varieties that we think of. Citrus is not native to North America. What else? There's a whole lot of stuff.
Me?
I mean,
I'm not native to North
there's native persimmon, but most of the persimmons we eat are imported, or plants that came from Japan,
Uh-huh.
and kind of things like that. A lot of your lettuces and things like that. They just they weren't from here. They ate dandelions and dandelion greens,
Really?
oakweed and
Really?
and things like that. The natural stuff that would have been gathered versus farmed. So it's a whole
Interesting stuff.
different, But bok choy, and I mean, most of those things are really fairly easy to grow. They're not normally bothered by stink bugs, which get our tomatoes, and you do have some of the caterpillars that'll get to things like that in your cabbages. You might, and like I said, snails can be an issue with things that are very leafy and are folded up. They can get in there and you don't see them. So watching for that, just scouting around for that, whatever natural barriers and natural type things that you do to try to keep your snails out is going to be a good bet, and just scouting the garden for pests as you would any other. But you may even do successive plantings, like start some every 2 weeks, to where you are harvesting every few weeks, so that you don't have everything at once. You want it fresh. You want to be able to
Space it out a
harvest
little
it.
bit,
Yeah,
yeah,
space
yeah.
it out.
Yeah, right.
Same with your lettuces, cabbages, even. Who wants 3 dozen heads of cabbage all at once, unless you have a party that you need to make a lot of coleslaw for.
Right.
Space it out. Plant a few plants at a time, because you can
All
harvest them at
coleslaws
different.
are not made equal, by the way.
No, they're not. So it was funny. I eat coleslaw now, but in high school I didn't care
Oh,
for
me
it.
too. When I was a young,
I did not
gosh,
like
yeah.
it, but in high school I had a shop teacher. I went to school with commercial foods, and shop teacher had me follow the recipe and make the coleslaw. He says, "Well, how is it?" I said, "I don't know." He said, "Didn't you taste it?" I said, "No, I don't like coleslaw." He said, "Taste it." I said, "Okay." I tasted it. He goes, "How's the coleslaw?" I said, "I don't know. I don't like it."
Oh, you still didn't like
I
it?
still didn't like
Oh.
it. I didn't actually
Do you
come to
like it now?
I do like it.
Oh, you do
now.
like it
Yeah,
now.
I do like it.
Now, I don't like all coleslaw, but I don't know
No.
until I try it. Now,
Right, and
I can-
sometimes I can fix it by just a little pepper or hot sauce.
the best coleslaw ever is made by Robin. I don't know what she does, but she does
She
something
makes a
right.
good coleslaw.
Yeah. So I don't even get it in the restaurants anymore because it doesn't compare.
It doesn't, right. It's a little disappointing.
And you have a phone call.
It
Good
does.
morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, Larry and I both lived on Long Island, and every neighborhood had a deli, and no 2 delis made coleslaw the same.
No, it's the family
They
recipe.
all had their individual recipe, and it was a thing to behold. Nowadays coleslaw comes in 5-gallon buckets.
Right,
But,
yeah.
But each individual deli had their own recipe for their own salad trays.
Oh, sure. Your macaroni salad.
The macaroni salad was different. The apple cobbler was different in every store. It was a signature of that store.
Right. It was a family recipe. It may have even been passed down for generations.
Oh, I could tell you, and I could tell you the difference between the Jewish, the German, and the Italian.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. They all had something different about them.
There was always, certainly. Just because the cultures, the different herbs and things that
I wonder if it's
used.
still that way. Yeah, I don't know.
It might be still, especially in the neighborhood ones. I'm sure it is still the same.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Thanks for the memory, Jim.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Thanks, yeah.
I used to love it. Oh, my gosh. It was an Italian deli, and they had, I guess they call it antipasta. No, it's not coleslaw, but antipasta salad.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. It was so good. Yeah.
Yeah, good antipasta, yeah.
Don't know what they put in it. Isn't the key to that, though, the herbs? Isn't that really the key?
A lot of the flavor is the seasoning you're putting in, not just the ingredients.
So,
because for example, coleslaw is shredded cabbage and maybe shredded carrot. Normally, that's the two vegetables that you're having. The rest of that is your dressing. And is the preparation.
And they grow those little herbs on the windowsill.
Yeah.
And isn't that like what makes...
a lot of times it is. Yeah, it's the seasoning
so
that's
what is
going
that?
into...
That's something anybody can grow, right?
There's all kinds of herbs that you can grow on the windowsill, the window box. The best place for an herb garden is right outside your kitchen. So that's where the windowsill herb garden came from, is that it's right there that you could reach out the window and harvest herbs. If you were, or outside.
See, that's a lost art. I don't see that anymore.
Or right outside the kitchen door. Used to be you'd have your little herb garden, pots of herbs. Oh, you can grow basil and thyme and sage and rosemary and.
And are they basically just little baby plants? They're just babies, or?
When they're in little pots, usually, but you can grow nice sized plants right outside the kitchen door. Even your vegetable garden and things like that shouldn't be that far from the house to where it's convenient for you to go out and harvest and walk through and look for insect pests and problems and be able to harvest and take and use it. You grab your little basket, you go out there, and you go pick tomatoes that's going to go in that salad that's going on the dinner table.
So wait a minute. In Lake Wales, they have the Bok Tower?
Bok Tower, yeah.
Is that because of the Bok Choy?
No, I think it was somebody named.
Oh, somebody's name.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's.
They don't grow Bok Choy down there.
Well, they may, but that's not why they're known. No, it's.
I'm having a hard time remembering it. So it's Bok Choy.
Bok Choy. Okay. It's easy. Yeah, it's a
not that I'll go buy it. I just want to know the word.
But just to think, and the next time you have an egg roll and the crunch, it's because everybody says, well, it's Chinese cabbage. Well, yeah, it's Bok Choy.
Huh.
And real easy to do. Great in a stir fry as well, and just chop some up and like they were looking for the baby bok choy, so it's moreover. Sometimes there are dwarf varieties that don't get to be full size.
Okay.
That might be named baby bok choy, or it's taking it and harvesting it at an immature size. Makes it the baby also, just like we like baby greens. You'll grow your lettuces, and instead of letting them get to be to the full size, you're harvesting them when the leaves are small. Baby spinach, it's just taking the leaves while they're small before they reach their full mature size.
The Bok Choy Recipe.
Well, there's all kinds of recipes. Yeah,
Bok Choy, also known as Pak Choy.
Yep. Bok choy is another. Yep. There's all kinds of easy bok choy recipes. Garlicky bok choy.
Bok choy has
stir fry.
Vitamin C, vitamin K, vitamin A, beta carotene. Wow. Folate, calcium, vitamin B6.
And because that's the kind of vegetable that you cook so quickly, you lock all that in. You're not losing it. You're not putting it in a now when I put my cabbage in a pot of soup, I'm not throwing when I make a big pot of regular cabbage, I'm having the broth as well. Yeah, stir fry it, just chop it and throw it in with some garlic.
I'd like to try that.
It's very good.
I've had it in an egg roll.
Yeah, and if you've ever had, more than likely your chow mein vegetables, you're going to have it in there, and some of the other Chinese dishes also.
What is the one thing that's in chicken chow mein that looks about the size of a quarter and is crunchy?
Water chestnuts.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Just chestnuts.
Just water chestnut.
Water chestnuts.
Water chestnut.
What does that look like when it's not chopped? Let me look it
Look
up.
it up. But they're sliced. Usually you find them in a can or a jar, just packed in water to throw into your stir fry or vegetables. And,
Okay.
So real easy. Same thing you'll find. They're usually water chestnut. Heart of palm is usually in some other dishes, but heart of palm is another one that you'll find that's crisp in many Asian dishes. And that literally is the center out of palm trees.
Water chestnuts, it says here, high amounts of disease-fighting antioxidants.
Yeah. I mean, you've got...
Helps lower blood pressure. Wow.
There's all kinds of,
Promotes weight loss.
most of these kind of foods are, or vegetables are things that we don't, or that you normally don't cook until they are soft. They are foods that you cook while they still keep their crisp. If you ever noticed Asian cooking, most things are cooked crisp.
Did you ever notice how thin they are too? That's why.
And
they're eating those water chestnuts.
They eat all the good, lots and lots of vegetables. In most Asian cultures, meat is only used as a seasoning, and that you do need some protein. The rest of it is predominantly vegetable, or the noodle and rice that that are used. And the rice is a lot of it's not necessarily.
It's funny how their deity Buddha is heavy and they're all thin.
And they are.
Our deity Jesus is skinny and we're all fat.
We're in America.
Did I just do something sacrilegious by thinking about that?
It could be. I don't know.
But it is an interesting thought.
It is an interesting Just one of those thoughts.
Well, you're talking about Halloween.
One of those thoughts that come out of Larry. It's Larry Whitler. Yeah. any of the bad stuff.
All the bad stuff comes out.
See, okay, the classification on the bok choy is a brassica.
Is what?
In the Brassica family, same thing as our
Brassica.
Brassica. Yeah.
Okay.
But the higher classification is field mustard. So it's, again, in your greens and things, it's all that same kind of thing.
Wow.
Also known as soup spoon because of the shape of its leaves.
It does look like a soup spoon. Yeah, it does.
So, and you might even be able to do that. Also, representative species, Napa cabbage, bok choy. You might have even heard of Napa cabbage, maybe, and that's probably a little more of a...
Napa Valley, I heard.
Napa cabbage you'll find in the grocery store.
In Napa Valley? Would it grow in Napa Valley?
Probably. It'd probably grow pretty much anywhere, just so long as you got the right temperatures. And for us, it is a cooler season crop. Which it's making me hungry for cabbage or Chinese food.
Same thing happening for me.
And it's good. Okay,
yeah.
What am I cooking?
But something really healthy, like that looked
I know.
very healthy,
I'm thinking
didn't it?
Chinese food now. I may have to go out for Chinese.
Stay away from the buffet, though.
Oh yeah, I can't do buffets. I just can't eat that much.
That's the problem. Mm-hmm. You eat too much. Not that the food's not good.
And then you don't feel good later.
It's a self-control issue.
Yeah, it's a self-control issue. But it's like once you eat too much, it's no.
The good thing about the buffet, though, is that you try stuff you wouldn't normally try.
Right. You may sample a little bit of everything, but then you still eat too much.
Absolutely. But you don't try. I don't try the red little lobster thing. I don't want to touch that thing.
What, the crawfish?
Yeah.
Oh, they're delicious.
No way.
Crawfish.
You eat that?
I love seafood, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you got a face on it.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
You got to break its back to eat it.
I like blue crab, and a lot of people go, oh my God, there's so much work. I don't care. I can sit there just...
I told you about the Krabby Burger I had?
Yes, and see, I would have eaten that.
You would have eaten the Krabby Burger.
Yeah, because it's soft shell crab.
We should go one day. You come with Rob and I. We'll go over to, what's it called again? Brooklyn's Backyard?
Oh, is that where it was?
Yeah. We'll treat you.
Well, we'll have to. Yeah,
we'll see somebody eat an actual
eat a crab
whole crab.
That's it. I don't know if I could get my mouth around it, but might be pull that out and eat that and eat the burger separate. Yeah. But no, it's all, gardening always leads to food. And of course, as the closer as we get to the holidays, the more we end up talking about food.
Well, last week we were talking about taking the pumpkin seeds and
toasting
that
pumpkins.
sounds healthy.
I love the pumpkin seeds.
It helps men with their,
Yes, it does. It's a
with
very
that
healthy
man thing.
man thing. But now if you're going to do, and some people say, that they'll use the carving pumpkins for everything else. But to me, I don't know if the pumpkins that are grown for carving, mass produced, if they're going to have that taste and that texture that you'd really be looking
How
for
do you really
as
mass produce
something.
a vegetable?
Well, it's grown farm wide. That they just grow these pumpkins for a carving pumpkin.
But why would that
you begin
change
to
them?
lose that. I believe
Really?
you may lose flavor, is what my thought is on that, is that they are grown for specific sizes, not necessarily thickness and quality of the meat in them. But then you will find pie pumpkins. It actually says pie pumpkin, and they're smaller, and I think that the flesh to them is a good texture, sugar content, et cetera, et cetera. So if you're, I might be wrong on that, but to me, if I was going to be using everything that a pumpkin has, I'd probably be trying to grow them myself, just where you're going smaller scale.
Which
more care.
By the way, this is the trick to getting the children to not eat the candy corn. You tell them to plant it, and then you can grow your own
corn. Okay.
Yeah, your own candy corn.
Only if you plant your candy corn, and you might actually do this. Save some candy corn from Halloween.
Yeah.
Tell them you're going to keep it, and in springtime, let's plant the candy corn and grow your Silver Queen corn.
What?
No, but plant real corn
I see.
with
Just a
it.
trick.
Yeah, plant real corn with it. And, we'll get our sweet corn. We'll plant the candy corn in to get the sweet corn.
You get the sweet corn. That's pretty fun.
Yeah. Might work.
Yeah.
Or just for fun.
Did you know that?
And planting lollipop sticks, to get a lollipop tree.
Did you know that Disney was going to have a hedge maze? And I think in Epcot or someplace, and then they decided not to. Wouldn't that be fun? A hedge maze?
A hedge maze? Yeah, an actual labyrinth.
Like they have the corn maze, right?
Right, the corn mazes. Well, labyrinths, there's ones that are done, on large scale like that. It's, you can find them. You just look up labyrinth, and they're a permanent maze.
Let's see. We got about 2 minutes left. If you want to call in, you got 2 minutes. 622-9622. Caroline will answer your question. I'll say howdy to you. How do you do?
Howdy.
I saw Heidi Mayer and Kevin Christian were in this morning. I think one of those things on the table actually talks.
It looks like I think it might be the froggy one over there. I don't know, because he doesn't have.
I heard something coming out of it. What is that? What does the other one do? Can you push the button on it?
Oh yeah, he has something on his hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, you gotta put it in your mic. It sounds like Joe, the top one. The top frog. Oh, what is that? A frog?
Yeah.
Sounds like Joe. Yeah, top one sounds like Joe.
Cute.
So let's see. Next week will be 1 week closer.
Yep, that'll be the 15th, and so we'll be.
Okay, we're still halfway. Not even halfway through the month
Right.
yet. No, we got plenty of time.
We got time. We'll come up with some fun stuff for. I'll see
fun
whether or not we can
things.
find something for Halloween on some other things. And again, if anybody tries any of these pumpkin preserving or has tried them before, let us know how any of them have worked, and if you've tried something, I'll try one. I plan on carving a pumpkin this year.
Do you have a favorite pumpkin spice beverage or dessert?
No, I'm not a pumpkin spicer.
October 14th is next Monday, right?
Right.
So that's the National Dessert Day.
Okay.
So just so you know.
National Dessert Day. All right.
Because I'll speak to you after the fact. So.
That's right. And find out what dessert you had.
This show has been recorded, so if you want to share it with somebody, it's easy to find on YouTube or on Facebook, and it should be there before 2 o'clock today.
There you go.
Thank
Everybody
you, Caroline.
have a great day.
Thank you.
Yep.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. European Union Ambassador Gordon Sondland is ordered by the State Department to not